Okay, Mr. Vasquez, your client is currently on Zoom.
Yes.
You ready to proceed on your cases?
Yes, no.
Mr. Sutton, you can take your mic off of mute.
How you doing this morning, Judge?
I'm doing fine. Now, your full name is Jalen David Welcome Sutton?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, Mr. Sutton, we have three cases. First case is cause number M326302, cause number M326304, and cause number M326306. All three cases are styled the state of Texas versus Jalen David Welcome Sutton. Mr. Sutton, you represented in your case by your attorney Joe Vasquez, who is currently present in court. Mr. Vasquez, how are you doing?
Good, Your Honor.
I'm doing fine. And the state is represented in these cases by Attorney Kobe Hoffpauir. Attorney Hoffpauir, how are you doing?
Good, Judge.
Mr. Vasquez, what is your announcement in Mr. Sutton's cases?
Your Honor, we're requesting that these cases be thrown to trial now. There may be, I don't think that information's been filed. I'm not aware of. There may be.
Yes, sir. Judge, can I say something?
Hold on a minute. You say you don't think information has been filed. What you mean by there's another case that's going to be filed? That's what you're saying?
Three right now.
We have three cases.
Are there any more coming in?
No, sir. Judge, can I say something?
Mr. Sutton, don't speak right now, okay?
Yeah, Mr. Sutton, you have a right to remain silent. Anything that you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Anything. So at this point, you have an attorney, and so I mean, if you want to talk to your attorney beforehand, you'll tell him what you want to say. Other than that, your attorney has made announcements to place these cases on the trial docket.
There is a note on the docket that says there's a new case that's 23 CCCR 0310. It's not on the.
It's on the. Oh yeah, I see it right here. What? Okay.
It's not on our docket. It's just noted in.
That should be added to. Should have been added to the docket. Hold on a minute. Could you look at Kim's up? Well, what has to be issued? Yeah. Okay, the DA's office nominee. Okay.
Another.
Okay, so there's another. What case? It's a trespass.
Yes.
Okay. So, Mr. Welcome Sutton, there is another case that has not. Well, you haven't been arrested on it.
Of course not.
Yeah. So that case. The warrant act is going to be issued, and then that case will also be with these three other cases.
Wait a minute, Judge. Hold on. You said a warrant will be issued for what?
The new case. Anytime a new case is filed, a warrant is issued on the case. The warrant has not been issued on that case. Now,
but hold on. I went to jail. When I went to jail, they charged me with 4 charges. I got charged 4 charges. On my bonds paper is 4 charges. So now I get an additional warrant for what? Like they already charged me.
Seven, I advise you just.
There's something wrong with the court system. That has nothing to do with me. They had already charged me. That stuff was already in my paperwork. Now I have to go back to jail.
Sutton, just listen today. Just listen. We can talk about all this later.
Okay, right now, we're just trying to see what's in the computers, and I think the coordinator, she's looking in the computer, and she did not, she had, huh?
We're gonna call downstairs, county clerk. is
Oh.
behind on bond.
Okay, so I was just informed that they're gonna call the county clerk's office because they right now they're behind on the bonds. So there is a possibility that they did not put it in the computer yet. So, and if that's the case, a warrant will not be issued because the warrant has already been executed.
Right.
Okay, that's
Okay.
but I'm saying nothing is in the computer right now. So we look at the court coordinator is looking at the computer, and so
But
somebody
Yes,
has
sir.
to input that data, and she's calling downstairs right now to see
Okay.
if the paperwork is there, and if it is, they're gonna put it in the computer.
Okay. Because I'm telling you, they have already charged me. That's what I went to jail for.
Understand?
They charged me, and then see, I wasn't even supposed to get that extra, but I digress. All I'm talking about right now is
Okay,
that extra
I
charge.
understand. Okay, I understand what you're saying. You don't have to keep repeating it over and over.
Okay.
Just yeah, they're checking into it right now.
Okay. Thank you.
So right now they're still looking into it. It's gonna probably take them a while. So in the meantime, your attorney has announced that he wants these cases set on the trial docket. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So the cases are going to be set on the trial docket. Your attorney and your bondsman will be given notice of your resets. Stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. You're free to go. Mr. Welcome Sutton, and you have a blessed day.
Okay. Judge, can I ask you a question?
Okay.
How do I get into contact with my attorney? Because I need to talk about my trial.
Okay, hold on a minute. Did we you appointed?
Yeah, I have a court-appointed attorney.
No. I'm saying, but you still have the paperwork that was given to you when you were in court when your attorney was appointed?
Yes, sir. I call that number all the time. There's no answer.
Well,
Like I've been trying to talk about my case, and like I have no communication until the day of my court.
okay.
The same number you called me on this morning, Mr. Sutton.
Okay, so when are your best times that you'll be available, Mr. Vasquez?
Okay, let me do this here. You can call him and he can discuss that with you over the telephone. We are currently in court on YouTube, on
Okay.
Zoom, and so you need to call your attorney to discuss those matters. Okay.
Okay.
This time your case will be reset. What is that? You have a reset date? Yeah, he said it's jury trial. July 31st? Okay, your case will be set for trial July 31st. Stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. You're free to go, and you have a blessed day.
You too. Have a blessed one, Judge Holmes.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is 296-2381-2023, State of Texas versus Charday, Hampton, Perez. I do have a copy of the mental health assessment. I will consider that for the purpose of this hearing. And did you want to call your client testify? You'll have to unmute unless you want to just talk really loud.
Okay, hold it. I found it. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. Yes, I would like to call my client.
All right. If you would raise your right hand and be sworn. What's that?
I mean,
Yes.
oh, like this? Okay.
Bring a smile to your face and
I don't know where the music's coming from. Probably on my computer somewhere. y'all want to do this with music, or y'all want to try and find out where it's coming from?
Okay.
All right, I'm going to swear you in real fast, Ms. Perez. If you would raise your right hand, do you swear or affirm testimony about to give be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay.
And
Mr.
I do
Pre-
have a copy of the mental health assessment I'll consider for the purpose of this hearing. We can't do this. I gotta find where the music's coming from. This is great. You'd figure by now we'd know how to do this stuff. Dude, we usually wait on Molly. I don't know. Pretty good stuff though.
And you feel Mother Nature walk along with you.
Sorry.
We're simple people living side by side.
I don't know what it is. Here, Pure Country YouTube. Here it is.
Why do you even have that on?
Apparently I like it. You know, I didn't know I had it. All right, now let's try it. All right, we're back. You're sworn in. I have a copy of mental health assessment, and you can go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
This court's going to call cause number C-232020. This is in the 317th District Court of Jefferson County, Texas. And it's in the interest of Reginald and Amari Slaughter. Miss Sierra Neville, I need you to unmute and raise your right hand. Miss Neville, do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. You can put your hand down. Reginald Slaughter, would you unmute, please? There you go. Raise your right hand, Mr. Slaughter. Solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. You can put your hand down. Do you have any other witnesses, Miss Alexander, besides the parties?
Yes, Your Honor, Miss Kim Shaw.
Kim Shaw, please raise your right hand. Solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. You can put your hand down. All right, you can call your first witness.
The state would call Miss Neville. Miss Neville, what is your full name?
Sierra Neville,
And what are the names of the children before the court today?
Amari Slaughter, Reginald Slaughter Jr.,
And what is Reginald's date of birth?
12/17/2008,
And what is Amari's date of birth?
March 16th, 2016.
Okay. And was there a prior order that was done in this case approximately June of 2021?
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Was there a prior order that was done in about June of 2021 that based child support on minimum wage?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, the state would ask the court to take judicial notice of the court's file, specifically the order that was entered June 22nd, 2021.
Or take judicial notice of its own file.
And you were recently had what's called a child support review process in our office, and Mr. Slaughter was there, and an order was put together, what we would call a non-agreed. And in that non-agreed, it set the child support at $980 to start June 1st, 2023, with a step down of $765 when the oldest graduates. Are you asking the court to approve of those terms?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And in that order, it's going to have dad cover the health insurance and the dental insurance through his employer. Is that what you're asking the court to grant?
Yes, ma'am.
And all of the other terms, there's not too many, you're asking the court to grant that order. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you actually did sign on that order. Is that correct?
I did.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
Call your next witness.
The state will call Mr. Slaughter. Mr. Slaughter, what is your full name?
Reginald Slaughter.
Okay. And do you agree that in approximately June of 2021, there was a prior order that set your child support based on minimum wage? Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And we're looking to modify that order today. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And where do you currently work now?
City of Beaumont.
Okay. Now, in that non-agreed that we filed, we have your monthly gross income as $5,771. Do you agree on that monthly income?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And we gave you credit you cover the health insurance through your employer with a cost for the children with a cost of $204.98. Does that still about right and what you agreed to?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And for the dental, there's a cost monthly of $17.90. The dental, you agree with those dollar amounts?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, do you agree to the actual calculation that we came up with based on guideline support of $980?
So you asked me earlier, I said yes. I was looking at my net. So from the gross, when I take home from after they take taxes and deduction, I take home approximately $3,922. So if you do the percentage of the $980 that's being requested for child support, that's still coming out to nearly 25% out of my check, out of net.
So, what I'm asking is, would you agree that based on what I calculated for guideline support, it would be about that much, but you don't agree to the actual amount?
Correct.
Why?
Oh,
Can you let the court know why?
Okay, I explained one of the reasons just now. So my net take home is $3,922. When you do the percentage of $980 off of that, it's still 25%. It's still not accounting for any deductions. One of the deductions is me having another child. I believe there's supposed to be a 3% deduction on that. And also, whenever I have the kids, I still have expenses when I have Amari and RJ.
Okay, and so what are you asking the court to set the child support amount at?
I was asking for $750, somewhere around that ballpark. Nothing too low because I still want to support my kids. I'm not trying to lowball or anything like that. Just I still have expenses. I still have things that come out of my check. I still have to pay for lots of things on my end, and I feel like $750 would be enough to take care of that. So my youngest with Sierra Amari. She's no longer in daycare. That was one of the biggest expenses that I know she had when I was paying child support when I was working. Now she's not in daycare. I believe those expenses are cheaper, you know?
Okay, do you understand that the calculation that we have, it is based on guideline child support? You're just asking the court to set it lower because you have other expenses. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Slaughter, how many children altogether do you have?
3.
Okay.
I'm sorry, how many?
3. 2 with Miss Sierra, and then I have one outside as well.
All right, so while we're talking about it, you fill out your taxes every year, Mr. Slaughter?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been back with the city of Beaumont?
About a year.
Okay.
Year and a half.
So, I mean, a year and a half.
Yeah. I started in January.
January 2021?
No.
2022?
Correct.
Okay. So, 6 months after I did the court order that lowered your child support to $250 a month, you went to work for the city of Beaumont.
Correct.
And you've been paying lowball child support for a year and a half.
I was on a adjusted, so I was a police cadet, and I was still making pretty much.
Were you making $1,256 a month?
No, sir.
Yeah. So you've been lighting the low for about a year and a half. Let's be honest about it.
And I was paying my arrears as well. I had a lot of debt that I was paying off.
While I understand what you're talking about, Mr. Slaughter, it's not my responsibility to make sure that all your other bills get paid. It's my responsibility to make sure that child support is supposed to be set the way it is, okay?
Okay.
So let's just be honest. For a year and a half, you paid a lot less child support than what you're supposed to pay.
Okay.
All right. Now the state's asking me to increase your child support to $980, and you want me to increase it to $750. So yes, you said Judge, I want you to base my child support on $750 because I got a lot other bills that you're responsible to pay. What bills do you have to pay?
I pay daycare, Pampers, wipes, other expenses for my 3-year-old.
Okay, does your 3-year-old live in the house with you?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean that is what it is, that you have another
Okay.
child. The law requires, Mr. Slaughter, that I give you credit for the dependents in your household, and I've done that. Your child support
Okay.
is not as high as it would be. It's only set at 22.5% instead of 25%. So you did get the 2.5 reduction that the law requires that I give you.
Okay.
All right. So, I mean, it's the nature of having another child in your household. You're just going to have to absorb that expense. But the law does require I give you credit for that.
Okay.
All right. So you said that the one thing that you actually started talking about at the beginning was that you were concerned that what you bring home is not actually what I'm using to set your child support on.
Yes, sir.
So the law says that I set your child support based on your net disposable income.
Okay.
The Internal Revenue Service publishes a data sheets for me every year that tells me exactly what somebody brings home based on their income. So you do make your gross is $5,771 a month, correct?
Okay. Yeah.
The Internal Revenue Service says the only thing that the federal government requires you to pay on $5,771 is $1,066.14. The Internal Revenue Service says that's all the taxes that you pay on that. Now, if you have a lot of other deductibles coming out of your check besides that $1,066, I'm not supposed to consider that.
Okay.
If you pay more income taxes than what you're supposed to pay, then you get a check back at the end of every year from the Internal Revenue Service because you overpaid your taxes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So because you overpaid your taxes doesn't mean that you're not supposed to pay child support on that.
Okay.
Now you get retirement that comes out of your check.
Correct.
You still have to pay child support on your retirement. Just because you decide to take money out of your income and put it to a later date for you to be able to draw because you're no longer working doesn't mean that you're not supposed to pay child support on. You are. You're supposed to still pay child support on your retirement. Okay? Because you still earned it. You just decided not to take it now. You're going to take it later when you retire. You still follow me so far?
Yes, sir. I'm still listening.
All right. You see, while I do understand what you're saying, the law doesn't allow for me to give you credit for all these additional expenses that come out of your check. The law says,
Okay.
Judge, this is how much money Mr. Slaughter earns a month. This is how much money the Internal Revenue Service he's supposed to pay in taxes. And you're going to set child support, Judge, based on the rest of it. Okay?
Okay.
Y'all hold on, because I saw something in this deal I didn't like. All right. Miss Neville, can you unmute?
Yes, sir.
All right. In the interest of trying to conduct hearings in good faith, I'm going to ask you this. Now, Mr. Slaughter says that he really wants to pay $750. I will tell you, based on my calculations, I do get $980. That's what I came up with. I mean, it's within pennies of what's being suggested. Okay? The law does allow me, however, to reduce that if you're willing to agree, just solely based on the fact that Mr. Slaughter does have another dependent in his household that may cost more money than what the law allows. I can do that if you wish me to do that. You do not have to agree. You can say, no, Judge, I got 2 kids and I'm entitled to $980, and that's what I want you to do. Okay? That is your right. You want me to set the child support at 980, or you want me to set it at 750?
980, sir.
That is your right. I can set the child support based on that information. Thank you, Ms. Neville.
Thank you.
Ms. Neville, are you still in the service?
Service?
I thought somebody was in the service. It may have been an old order I was looking at.
Okay.
Anything further from the state?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Mr. Slaughter, is there anything else that you think I need to know about this case before I make a ruling?
No.
I appreciate you both being here today. Mr. Slaughter, those were really good questions. I do understand what you're saying. They're, right now the law is what it is. And so I'm required to set child support based on your income, okay?
Hey, I got it. All I had to do was ask, and I got my answer.
And don't ever be afraid to ask.
Yes, sir.
Good luck to you both. You're both free to go. Have a great day.
Thank you.